Welcome to the September edition of the Daisy Chain, and this edition is a special Zoom edition. As if we haven't had enough of Zoom already, I thought I'd bring you a Daisy Chain full of Zoom. And I am joined today by Charlotte and Millie and Eloise. And with our powers combined, we're going to take you through a little bit of a look at some of the things that have happened in Term 3, but also some of what's to come. And Charlotte, you started a really exciting initiative at the beginning of Term 3. Do you want to tell us what it was all about?
So we decided to start a kindness club, and we wanted to get the whole of Wattle House involved. So we would set up a club at lunchtimes, and we'd invite all of the Wattle House girls to come down and have some fun with the rest of junior school.
And when you started it, what did you anticipate would happen? Did you think that you would get many students that would come along to Kindness Club?
So when we were getting the sheets ready for the drawings, we only thought we would just print out 6 because we didn't think there would be many people coming. But we were wowed with 60 girls came for the first time.
Charlotte, you started this initiative with a couple of your friends. Who helped you?
So Sophia and Daisy helped us do the club, and they're there every week supporting us and making sure everything's ready. So it's really nice that they're doing it.
Yeah, and Charlotte, what have you guys learnt together? Are you able to stand back and watch Kindness Club? What do you notice? Does it help people be kinder? Does it help people connect?
Well, we've noticed that since we started the club, that more people have came like every week, and it's like the same girls that are wanting to hang out with the same people. So it's like they will come down, and we feel like it's really good that we see people making friends, talking to each other and asking questions to each other and also to us. So we find it's really nice.
Yeah, and Charlotte, we are so proud of you for starting this initiative and considering other people. Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah, I'm really proud of myself and Daisy and Sophia for helping doing the club, and I'm really proud of what the outcome was, that 60 girls turned up the first day, and I feel like it's a really good achievement to start a club for self-initiative.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Millie, you are one busy student at Toorak. Tell me, one of the things that we have done with Year 7 to Year 12 is to run, a tool to actually look inside yourself, which is called Flourishing, and say, well, how are my emotions? How's my motivation? How's my connection? Tell me, what did your flourishing cycle this time tell you about you? Where were the strengths and where were the things that maybe weren't as high?
Yeah, so it's really cool because it's like an annual thing. We can still go back and look at it, and I had a look at mine, and it's really interesting to see how this massive event in our lives have changed. Mine was definitely down with, I think, motivation and things like that, as I get a lot of motivation from other people. However, things like sleep was up a lot, which you'd expect, and there's some other positive things that kind of silver linings that come with it, and I think that's really cool. To compare back to the other years.
What are those silver linings, Mill? The girls I met with Flourishing, it was just like some of the best days of this term, just sitting and having one-on-one chats with students. And a lot of them found that things that were their strengths, I guess have always been their strengths, and they're also carrying them through at this time. What are your strengths on that wheel, and how are you using them now?
Well, one of my strengths has always been, although motivation might have been lacking, accomplishment. I always try to make to-do lists and make sure I feel like I'm getting things done, even if they're really small things. And I feel like that's really helped throughout lockdown, because there's not someone constantly on your back like at school. Yeah, so you've had to become more self-motivated for that, yeah. I guess.
Last one from me, Millie. You're in big VCE land next year in a serious way. How did you go choosing subjects, and are you excited about what's to come?
I'm really excited. I really like everything, and so in some ways it's good, in some ways it's really hard. I kind of envy people who know exactly what they want to do, but I've had a look over it, and I'm excited to doing more science, and I'm really excited to see where that takes me now that I have a more defined pathway.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, Mill. Not a lot of people do know exactly what they want to do, which brings me to my third guest today, Eloise, one of The most frequent questions that I'm hearing at the moment is, how are the Year 12s? You are a young lady who knows what you kind of want to do, but this has disrupted what we thought Year 12 would be like. What's it like to be a Year 12 right now?
I mean, it's definitely challenging, but I think that it's built up a lot of resilience in the girls. So I think we're really, really good now at adapting and changing to our different circumstances. And obviously we'd love to be at school and we'd love to be face to face, but the teachers have just been amazing with that, keeping that contact still. So, you know, you can organise a Google Meet whenever you need, and you can go into breakout rooms with the different girls. So there still is that social aspect, but I mean, it is challenging not being able to, you know, see everyone face to face.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think you're exactly right. The last really 2 years have absolutely taught you to adapt and adjust. And so really for your cohort, I have no question marks about how you'll cope with change next year as you go off to university and develop independence. It's like, well, that's not really a thing anymore. But tell me, what are you doing with that next step next year?
Well, next year I'm actually joining the Navy, so that's quite exciting. But I think, this year has just been really good to be able to work on yourself, I guess. So, you know, it's really easy to work together with people when you're at school, but I think taking a bit of a look into how you're going and how you're coping has been a really important thing this year. So I think it's made me a bit self-aware of like how I actually am, which has been actually quite nice, you know. But I think it's just been, it's been a challenge, but it's been, good character development, I think.
It sure has. We are all in the middle of the best character development we can ever get in our lives. Elle, not everybody finds swapping that motivation switch, finding the positives. Not everyone finds that, you know, maybe as easy as you do. What do you say in your head? You know, when you're in that lull, that low, that want to roll over in bed and what's the point mood? What is there a mantra?
I think I just have to say that I have to keep going. I mean, we've worked so hard over all of our years of schooling, and we've actually been able to do a lot this year. So looking back last year, because fortunately I'm house captain, which I absolutely love, being able to get in all of those events and do most of my sailing events as well. I think I'm in a very fortunate position. So I just have to think to myself that, yes, this is hard, but everyone's going through it. So it makes it a bit easier when you know that you can talk to people because they know what you're going through. So I think keeping that communication open has been really beneficial for me, and checking in with friends and all that sort of stuff. I think, keeping that connection and communication really strong has been really important.
Yeah, and I think it does come down to perspective, you know, be grateful for what you have had. And you know, I think as we kind of close this term out for everybody watching us at home, we encourage you all to keep that perspective in mind, not thinking about what we can't do, but thinking about what we can. And at Toorak, we're showing a really public display of that at the moment, and we're asking members of our community to tie a ribbon of hope to our fence. If you're lucky enough to be in those 5Ks, you can do that yourself. Otherwise, post it on in, because I think thinking about what we can't do will have us with a long list, and we want to contribute to that list of what can. The thing that excites me most about our Ribbon of Hope campaign, and we hope everyone gets behind it, is that these students will be back at school. And I can't wait to see their faces when they see their gate flooded with red ribbons of support from their community. So thank you very much for joining us in this edition of the Daisy Chain. I wish you a very happy school holidays and hope to see your red ribbon flying on our fence soon.